Bienvenidas, bienvenidos, bienvenides a este espacio llamado R+. Yo soy Roberto García y ahora estamos enlazados con una gran banda llamada Lemon Twigs. Yo sé que ya los conocen, yo sé que no es ninguna sorpresa, pero ellos lanzaron hace algunos días una canción llamada Just Can't Get Over Losing You, de un próximo álbum que estará estrenando en mayo. El álbum lleva por nombre Look for Your Mind. Y bueno, estaremos platicando justo de ello con Brian de The Lemon Twigs. Así que permítanme darle la bienvenida. Brian, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for this conversation. How are you?
Pretty good. No problem. How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing great, and I'm really excited to this conversation because this song feels really interesting, even uh, because of the personality of the song in terms of pop music, and then kind of some surprise structural change, which in the ecosystem of the industry is kind of really interesting. But let me start with the emotional idea of the song. Can you tell us about the emotional starting point of this song? What inspired its core feeling? Because feels like a breakup songs, but also has a lot of layers of emotions and
hmm
reflection.
Well, I wonder about that because, it's this one is my brother's song. We both, we write like half of the record, like I'll write half of it, he'll write half of it. But I don't know. I assume that he was really following like the melody, following the emotion of the melody, and really trying to give the words uh kind of an appropriate feeling to the melody. Um, because I don't think that he's, really experienced that recently. He's been pretty, in a stable relationship for a while. But I don't know. I just think that it went with the melody, honestly, and that it kind of songs like that kind of write themselves in a weird sort of way.
In your dynamic as a band, in terms of writing songs or composition, um, the initial emotion or experience subordinate to the final track, or is the final track the result of the path drawn by the initial emotion?
I guess I think you're trying to like follow through on your initial emotion the entire period of, working on a track. And it takes a long time, and hopefully the initial emotion that drove you to write the track in the first place isn't completely foreign to you by the time that you get to the end of a song. But we try lately I've tried to like demo things like pretty soon after writing them just to give it some sense of an arrangement before we take it into the studio. Um, and we've gone through periods of doing that and not doing that. There's as many cons as pros to when you demo a song.
Um, this new single, at least for me, present or offer to the audience a really interesting contrast between the uplifting pop sound, but also some kind of melancholic emotion. It's kind of
hmm
a bittersweet experience. Is
hmm
this contrast a rational decision, or it was more like what the song or the emotion needs to develop or evolve the song?
Uh, it's sort of just a product of writing a bunch of different kinds of songs. I mean, we're always writing, so we write through, good moods and bad moods, and through performing and playing as many shows as we have in the past 3 years, we realize that there's a gravity to really fun, upbeat material that you could easily write off as like, dumb pop songs. People really do enjoy hearing that, especially in a live context, when it's kind of an infectious, kind of happy feeling that you can feel from the stage. Um, so we don't shy away from that. We try to write all kinds of songs.
Can you tell us a bit more about this interesting kind of shift or twist in the song, in the second half of the song, where the vocal harmony take the center stage? It's kind of really interesting because, at least for me, it feels like that. I mean, I don't want to say chaos in the song because it's not near from the chaos, but some kind of that. But it's also it's a really interesting example of the emotions that are narrating the songs. Can you tell us a bit this decision to create this shift or twist in the song?
Well, it happened so organically that it's kind of hard to pinpoint because what initially happened was Michael, we had a friend that asked us to play a show or asked Michael to play a show. So he got me to play drums and Ava Chambers, who's in this band Tchotchke, to play bass on the show. And then and he had this song. This was about 2 years ago now. He had the song written and he really arranged it on the spot, with us in the room and teaching us the parts and stuff. And I don't know, because of how quick it kind of came together, it's hard to really figure out if he probably wasn't thinking too much about the lyric. It was just he was following the chord progression and the melody and stuff. I think the thing that struck me about it was just how unusual of a structure it was, going to that bridge and then introducing a piece of music that you hadn't heard yet as this like finale to the song. And the fact that it's all like within 2 minutes and 7 seconds, that really, I really enjoyed that aspect of it too, because you're fitting a lot of music in a short amount of time.
One thing that I really caught my attention, it was the vocal harmony, because it's kind of a signature part of the band, I think. But since you've been working together from, I don't know, your early release in 2016, I think, uh, how has your approach to the vocal harmonies evolved over time? It's about maturity. It's about understanding the other voice, or the natural evolution of the band in terms of composition and what you want
Yeah.
to get.
Well, I think we used to be very possessive of our own songs in the beginning. So much so that I wouldn't even want Michael to sing harmonies on my songs, and he wouldn't want me to sing on his songs. And somewhere along the line, we realized that like our vocal harmony was really our strength. Um, and so we tried to exploit it more and more. And now we're kind of coming to the realization that also other people have, great, it's obvious, but other people have great voices too. And our favorite, harmony groups, you're utilizing the personality in everyone's voice and everyone's timbre. So on this record, we also used like Ava, who played bass on that song. She also sings like harmonies on that song, I Just Can't Get Over Losing You, which I think really helps it along tremendously. And Danny Ayala, who plays in our live group, and Reza Mateen, who plays in our live group, we both had them sing on the songs Bring You Down and You're Still My Girl on the record. Um, so I don't know. It's just kind of like trying to like utilize instrument like a vocalist like you would you know uh, a instrument in an orchestra or something like for their different textures and timbres.
Great. In the press release that you shared to me, mentioned that you're trying to write something simple, and then you tend to introduce unexpected twist. What excites you about pushing those boundaries within pop songwriting?
Well, I mean, I accept that we're kind of I feel like that's where like we can be sort of like original, in like our chord progressions and our harmonies and arrangement choices. Um, I think, rock is kind of like an old medium. Not, it's new relatively, like relative to like music if you're looking in a with a wider range, wider lens, But I think, when you go to a certain chord or you change keys or like you introduce like different kinds of arrangements, uh, you still can like surprise people, who may be used to hearing one chord follow the next, in a very predictable way.
The next or the new album, Look for Your Mind, has been described as having a bright pop surface without undercurrent of paranoia or emotional tension related, of course, with the mind. How does I Just Can't Get Over Losing You fit into that emotional landscape?
Well, um, since I can be a little bit objective about it because I didn't write the song, um, I don't know. I like how it says like, and now it feels so good to say that I just can't get over losing you. Like that, those opposites. It feels so good to just. I think that there are things in that are kind of a little bit more complicated than they seem. Um, but when I like described the record that way, I was really speaking more to songs like Look for Your Mind and songs like Your True Enemy and songs like Bring You Down and Joy, which are kind of like they're all about sort of different things. And a lot of it is related to like how you might look at yourself. And then other songs are more related to like how the outside world might really bring you down. Um, so that's what I was thinking I wasn't particularly thinking of I Just Can't Get Over Losing You. Like there are definitely lighter tracks on the record, and that's okay with me.
That's really sounds interesting in terms of the experience to the audience. But well, um, mm, uh, I really wanna ask about how do you feel about the new album in terms of what you expect the audience or the audience can expect of this album.
Um, well, I like it, which is nice because sometimes that doesn't happen with when you finish a record because you've heard it so much. But we had certain goals, like we've been playing more live shows in the past 3 years than we have like in previous year, like in the rest of our career. And we so enjoy like the sound that we get with like four instruments, but we've never really caught that on record. So we managed that on a few songs, and then on a few other songs, they're kind of the most instrumentation that we've put on a single song, in like the case of Joy. And then there were more psychedelic moments, like in Your True Enemy. I think it's a pretty varied record, but the heart of it is like guitar pop, which we've been really trying to develop over the past 3 years.
What does this new chapter, sorry, represent for the Lemon Twigs, both creatively or personally? Personally,
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I think that we get such a kick out of playing live that it's going to be a real treat for us to take this album on the road because so many of the songs were recorded and written with eventually playing them live in mind. And there are maybe a few tracks that were done that way in the past, but not very many. So we were trying to kind of I think the future, because we've finally done this like guitar record or mostly guitar record, the future can get a little bit more experimental or interesting from my perspective because I feel like we finally did that.
great. Let me say this thing in Spanish for the Mexican audience. pues, nada, sin duda hay que ir a escuchar este nuevo sencillo de Lemon Twigs y por supuesto estar al pendientes de ese próximo álbum que por lo que nos ha contado suena bastante interesante. Vamos a dejar por supuesto los links de todo ello en la descripción de este podcast y bueno, eh, thank you very much for your time and congratulations for the new single and the upcoming album. Something you want to add to this conversation?
No, I'm pretty good, but thank you very much.